Hello everyone, welcome back. Savages here, coming back with a new part of What If Deku Had the Snake Miraculous. Yes, this is no longer What If Midoriya was Hot Moth. Anyway, before I get right into it, don't forget to tell me down in the comments what do you think about this part, and well, let's just begin, shall we? Now, where we last left off, Midoriya has returned home after his run-in with Ladybug, or I guess multiple run-ins with Ladybug. And thankfully he managed to end the day by finding a timeline where Ladybug does not catch him nor does she meet him, which was good, thankfully. Regardless, with all of that being said, the next day, well, in the morning, he goes to school like per usual. Nothing happens, at least nothing much. He talks with Shinso, talks with Emily, and they proceed to go over their normal studies. After the school day was over, the rest of the students all finally move into their dorm systems. Each student into their own section, the general course into their own dorms, the heroes, and all of that funny stuff. Which kind of put a needle in Midoriya's and Emily's plan to study together. But Midoriya told her that it doesn't really matter even if they're in their dorms. They can find other places to study outside of their dorms. And so he decided to get come at her dorms in the night to take her and go out studying. And right now he's standing in front of the dormitory of Class 1A. He knocks on the door as, somebody opens it up. The person who was closest to the door. And when the person opens the door, Midoriya sees Katsuki Bakugo, as Bug said, who the hell is... But he sees Midoriya. As he stands still, says, Deku. As Midoriya said, hey, Kachan. As Bug just stares at him for a second, and Midoriya said, is Emily here? Immediately he hears a noise saying, hey, Bakugo, who's at the door? As immediately another person comes by, which is a girl with pink hair and, skin, with horns, as she said, ooh, who's this? Do you know him? As Midoriya said, hi, I'm Izuku Midoriya. As she said, oh, wait. Oh, you're the kid the whole thing with the incident a few days ago? As Midoriya said, oh, yeah, that was me. Sorry about it. As, Mina said, don't worry about it. It's not like you wanted to do it on purpose. Anyway, what brings you here? As Midoriya said, I'm here for Emily. Me and her were supposed to have a study as, she said, you're here for Emily? Like, you're two going out? As Midoriya said, well, I guess we're going out, yeah. As immediately they hear a sound from behind, which is Emily being like, what's the matter? Why are you guys calling? As immediately she finally arrived at the door, and Mina's like, Emily, your boyfriend's here. As Midoriya said, what? No, you got it all wrong. I'm not her boyfriend. We're just, studying. As Emily said, shut up, Mina. Stop with this annoyance. As Mina said, so he's just helping you study? So what, he's your book boyfriend? As Emily just started getting angry and flustered over this, saying, he's not my book boyfriend or boyfriend at all. As Mina said, sure thing. It's quite how romantic of him to come here to pick you up. As Midoriya just standing on the side, just blushing, saying, what the hell is this? I just, maybe I shouldn't have came here. Regardless, in the end, Emily just closes the door behind of her in Mina's face and apologizes for her classmate. That was Mina Ashido. She's annoying to say the least. And Midoriya said, she seems energetic and nice. As Emily said, just ignore whatever she said. Let's go. So where are we going? And Midoriya said, I was thinking of, going at my mother's place. Or if you want, we can go into a coffee shop and something like that. As Emily said, actually, I would like to meet your mother. As Midoriya said, oh, really? And Emily said, yeah, I do want to know who she is. Certainly, I also want to thank her, because Emily, truth be told, she kinda is impressed with Inko Midoriya's guts to slap Ladybug in the face. Now that is something she can appreciate. Anyway, Midoriya, since Emily decided that she want to go to his place, mostly just to meet his mother and because she want to see it. I mean, he already saw hers and met his mother, though not on a very favorable circumstances. In the end, they arrive at Inko's place. Inko is surprised to see Midoriya here, which is, shouldn't he be in his dorms? And Midoriya said, well, I mean, after school hours, he really doesn't have to be in his dorms. He can just do whatever he wants, as long as he returns before midnight, that is. In the end, Inko gets introduced to Emily, which she's a little skeptical. Of course, his friend was the daughter of Ladybug this whole time? And it's a girl? Well, that is, she got quite happy over that, to the point that she forgot who her mother was, as she immediately welcomes her in, and Emily is very surprised of how friendly Inko was. She swore she would have been angry at her, but apparently not. In the end, she and Midoriya enter the place, as Midoriya sits on the dinner table, putting all the books on the table while Inko and Emily are just talking. And Inko starts making some food for both of them. Emily tried to help her, but Inko told her, no dear, it's alright, but she insisted because, she knows how to cook and bake and all of those stuff. And they basically start sharing recipes together, with Midoriya just sitting on the sideline on the dinner table, waiting for Emily to finish so they can start. And in his jacket he hears a sound saying, are you sure this is a study session anymore? As Midoriya said, shut up. And eventually they, are done. Inko just goes ahead and leave the place to them. She just goes into her room, telling them to have fun, you two, and all of that. And Midoriya starts eating some of the cookies that Emily and Inko made. As Emily said, those are delicious. Your mother is certainly nice. As Midoriya said, yeah, she's amazing. I don't deserve her. As Emily said, no, I think you do. You're nice yourself. And Midoriya said, well, this is all sweet and all, but don't we have a study session? As Emily said, oh, yeah, right, sorry, I completely forgot. As then Dusu appears saying, how cute. You two are sharing a moment together. It brings tears to my eyes. As it starts crying while Midoriya said, as he remembers saying, what? Wait a minute. Emily is, as he remembers her quirk, her supposed quirk. He realizes something. This thing, he looks like a Kwami. Her mother, a Ladybug, also has a Kwami because of what Sass told him about. Does that mean that Emily is quirkless herself? She did say before that she was quirkless when she was little, but I guess at least her mother told her to pretend to have a quirk via her miraculous, which is now surprising to see it. I guess he never thought about it. The fact that he has a miraculous of his own, the fact that Emily has one, and the fact that Ladybug pretends to have a quirk by tricking everyone into believing that her miraculous is just a quirk. There is a lot going on, and, for now he just shakes that thought off, as Dusu just eats the, cookies. Emily said, I'm sorry about, Dusu, he's a little emotional. As Midoriya said, it's alright. Hey Dusu, I'm Izuku Midoriya. As he said, I know you, we met. Emily always talk about you when she's Emily immediately grabs Dusu, saying, you stay silent. Shut up. I don't need you to start talking now. As he said, sorry. Okay, I'll just go sleep. As he just returning into her pocket. While Midoriya and Emily proceed to continue with their studies. Eventually, they both are done after a few hours. And after which, Midoriya and Emily returns to their dorms, each one going to their separate ways. In Midoriya's dormitory, Shinso asked him where he was, and while on the other side, Emily was being, let's say, assaulted by the rest of the girls from Class 1A for some information, even though she doesn't want to interact with them. And Midoriya did not go tonight for any vigilantism, mostly because he want to make sure that Ladybug drops his track. And things proceeded to be like this for the next few weeks. Midoriya goes, helping Emily study. Ladybug and the rest of the heroes and police are trying to catch Moth, but there is no news of him, though his vigilante team, Team Hydra, returned to business. And all of that stuff. Hosu incident have already happened, with the Nomus attacking the place, and Team Hydra was responsible for stopping all these monsters, though the hero killer Stain was still on the loose. In those matter of days, eventually, Emily and the rest of Class 1A and Midoriya's own class all finally get their final exams. Midoriya's final exams are alright. He just has a written portion, while Emily has the physical part. And the physical part, she had to team up with Katsuki Bakugo out of all people, which is certainly something. Both of them are very, very aggressive people that don't see eye to eye. At the end, as the battle commences and continues, Bakugo was knocked out by All Might and it's left Emily alone without anything, and All Might just kept taunting her about the fact that she refuses to use her power. She must be the one with the most potential in Class 1A, yet she refuses to use her power at all, which eventually pushed her to be angry and finally creating her first senti monster, which was a creature, an absolute nightmarish being that attacked All Might viciously. Something that immediately kept him distracted long enough for her to grab Bakugo and get out of there, winning the match by escaping. And as for her final results, they will be revealed in a few days, that is, including Midoriya. And right now, with that all being said, after another day of school and just talking and chatting in general, Midoriya returns into his dorms and, well, he decided to go out for a bit of vigilantism. He told the rest of his class that he's going out to, visit his mother. And so they just let him go. Midoriya leaves and go into an alleyway as he transforms and turn into, as the people start calling him these days by the world serpent hero, Cobra, or the green Cobra, or something like that. Midoriya proceeded to go over the usual things that he does, some petty crimes and some leads he have, some of which leads him into a warehouse on some docks of a few villains doing illegal quirk-enhancing devices trading. He jumps into the place and deals with those criminals effectively and swiftly. His skills in the past few weeks have improved amazingly. All of these many tries and errors and always repeating the same mistakes until he finally stopped them. It made him a very, very effective hero, since using the miraculous allows him to even double his normal training time. He can turn an hour of training into literal months or even years, which made his skills quite high. In the end, as Midoriya deals with the criminals and ties them up into a pole, he looks to check on the things that they were transferring. And he starts calling on the police, but as he's calling on the police, suddenly he feels something appearing behind of him. A portal open up behind of him, and through it, somebody grabs him. As Midoriya looks to see Ladybug grabbing him and immediately rushing him, slamming him against the wall. As Midoriya is right now against the wall, Ladybug immediately just punch him in his guts, and he's thrown outside of the abandoned warehouse. As Midoriya looks to see Ladybug, he's holding his stomach saying, "What? Again? Damn it." As Ladybug looks at him saying, "You're quite slippery. I guess that's fitting for a snake like you." As Midoriya see her, he's, "Damn it, this was such a perfect attempt. Now he has to repeat it." And he does. He hits the snake head and uses second chance, but nothing happens. Midoriya is not sent back in time. He tries again, but nothing. As Ladybug looks at him saying, "What's the matter? Something troubling you? Your power not working?" As Midoriya looks at her, he sees her hand glowing in a dark blue aura. As she explains what she did, she used the power of the ox the power to negate others' powers. And she just used it on him when she punched him and broke his loop. And now there is no safety net to run into and nowhere to escape her. She is gonna beat him to a pulp and get those informations of Hawkmoth's location out of him, whether he likes it or not. And so she proceeded to attack him. But Midoriya is not as powerless as she deems him to be. He have faced her before, even if she doesn't realize it. He faced her hundreds of times, and each time he ran away and survived, and each time he learned her techniques, learned her fighting style, and learned how much she, goes for the attack. She's very aggressive in her approach, always going for big finishers, which leaves her quite open. But that doesn't matter to her, since normal people are usually defeated before anybody could even lay their hands on her. And as for her power of creation, she doesn't use it as often as Midoriya believed it to be, even though it's such a great ability. And he uses all of that against her. While she is like a raging bull, he on the other hand is a slippery snake, maneuvering around of her, using her own strength against her. She throws a punch and Midoriya just grabs her by the arm, flip her over his head and slam her into the ground before taking a step back. And he continued to fight while trying to stay on the defensive, to try and find an opening to escape. And so he starts running away. He starts running across the docks, hiding behind containers and going around while thinking of a plan. He's using the lyre in his hand to map out the area, because he knows this area. This isn't the first time he was here. You think he have found those guys in a single attempt? He mapped out this entire place in his mind before he even managed to find these guys that he defeated, and now he knows this place better than Ladybug. And he has that advantage. She may be the most powerful here, but she isn't the most versatile, at least not against him, because he has the informations, and informations that on themselves could be considered power. And so Midoriya starts using all the info he has, starting using the place to his advantage as he starts going around this docks and working, setting traps, setting containers, putting, containers in places they don't belong into, throwing oil on the ground, and using, an iron rig that lifts all these containers normally onto ships, and using it all against Ladybug, as she's just walking, looking left and right, using her abilities, using the ability of the rooster to give herself some vision, night vision, to see around of her, before suddenly something falls from the sky, falling right from one of these iron rigs on top of her, but she thankfully dodged. But then she slips on some of the oil that causes her to fall and tremble until she falls inside of a metal container full of a lot of little tiny rubber balls. As then the door closes at her because Midoriya just closes it. And he's saying, took me a few tries, but I think that's success. Alright, I need to get out of here before suddenly the container just explode, and not with a cataclysm, but with the power of the tiger miraculous. An explosive punch that causes everything around of him to be destroyed as Midoriya is falling on the ground. He looks to see Ladybug walking out of the, whatever destruction she just caused. As her right fist is glowing with energy as she looks at him, saying, I am tired of your slippery slope and your disgusting, slithery moves. You will tell me all that I want to know, or you will stay silent as I rip those informations out of you. So why don't you make it easier for yourself and just surrender? As Midoriya looks at her, and in that moment, he looks left and right. He's right now standing, and there is nothing around of him he can use anymore. It's just her and him, and he's standing on the edge of the docks. He looks behind of him to see the sea, and looks in front of him to see Ladybug. And in that moment, he looks into his hands, saying, damn it, I only have one last chance. As Midoriya said, alright, I give up. Sass, as he immediately said, second chance, as Ladybug rushes at him to try and stop him before he activates his power, but Midoriya sets the power end. He rolls the snake head back, and before you realize it, Midoriya's back a few seconds ago, as he hears Ladybug saying, so why don't you just give up and settle down? And Midoriya standing in front of her now. He has set a new loop, and now he's stuck with Ladybug meters away from him. But now at least he can think of a way to escape. And so he started. He started by first running. He jumps into the water, and Ladybug immediately jumped after him using her mermaid transformation to swim and catch up to him, which she eventually did, but thankfully he goes back in time before she could do anything. He tries a different approach. He tried to fight, failed. He tried to run away, failed. Jumping over her, sliding from under her, running all around of her, confusing her, using smoke bombs, anything. Failure after failure after failure. With no avail and no light at the end of the tunnel, as he hits the snake head one more time, and he hears Ladybug say, why don't you just settle down and give up? And Ladybug just sees, Cobra. He looks down, that look in his eyes, empty, without any hope, desperation, absolute despair. It seems like the life has just been stripped of him. As she hears him muttering something, she gets closer to try and listen to what he's muttering. As she listens, he's saying 272, 273, 274, as he keeps counting, 351, 352, and he just keeps going, 60, 61,000, 62,000, as he's just grabbing into his head saying, I'm tired of this. Why do you not just give up? Leave me alone. I want to go home. I want to go home. Just let me go. Somebody stop this. As he just falls on his knees, and Ladybug, realizing what he's talking about, has he been using the miraculous this whole time? How many times did he use it? If what he was counting is true, then did he really use it over 1,000 times? As he just, continued to yelling, losing his mind, wanting this night to be over. He lived an entire lifetime through it, and it's still not over. Why could it be over? Just please, for the love of God, I want to leave, please. Why do you hate me so much? What do you have against me? All what I'm trying to do is help people. I just wish to be a good person, somebody to help the people in need. Oh, is this really what I have to take for just wishing to be a hero? Just this? As he's just crying on the ground, his tears are falling, and Ladybug, for a second, she feels guilt. She feels guilty for what she's doing. But at the same time, she gets closer to him. Perhaps there is a way to talk to him. She gets closer, and while she was about to talk to him, she places her hand on his shoulder saying, listen, whoever you are, I don't know if you're with Hawkmoth or not, but whatever he promised you, he's lying to you. So why don't you just give me the miraculous, and everything can be better? As, Cobra looks at Ladybug with tears in his eyes as he said, I'm sorry. As Ladybug said, it's okay. It's whatever you've done, it's alright. As Midoriya said, no, I'm not that. I'm sorry about this. As immediately Midoriya used his lyre and, he wrapped Ladybug in the lyre's strings, As Ladybug falls on the ground, he grabs her yo-yo from her waist and she looks to see him, swiping away his tears as he said, "Took me a few tries, but I managed to find my acting well. What do you say?" As Ladybug suddenly gets angry. He lied to her? That was all just an act? As immediately he continues saying, "Well, it wasn't entirely an act. I did do this some multiple times. But I have to go." As he just runs away while Ladybug trying to free herself from the liar's string. But by the time she does, he already has left. And Midoriya returns back to his home. He jumps through his window as he rests on his bed. And Sass looks at Midoriya. He sees him, immediately going to crying to himself to sleep. Because even though he may lie about doing this about 6,000 times, he did do it over 300 times. It was still suffocating, nightmarish even. He felt like his life was going to just continue like this forever. And Sass sees Midoriya how sad he is. He looks at him and said, "Ezekiel, perhaps it's time that we return the miraculous?" As Midoriya looks into his wrist, and, well, he's just crying. Maybe he played the role of the hero a little too much, and Sass feels responsible because ever since he came into Midoriya's life, all what he caused him was just pain and suffering, while he only hoped that he would bring him joy and happiness, a chance to achieve his dream, but so far it was only just pain, and he doesn't want to cause him any more pain, and so Midoriya agreed. They did make a deal at the start when they first met, that Midoriya one day will return the miraculous after being a hero for a while, and now maybe it's time for him to return this miraculous. But that will be for a different time, because now he needs to sleep, even though sleep cannot come easy to him tonight. And Sass proceeds to fall into slumber as well, hoping that whatever happens tomorrow, he will not need a second chance to start it. And this will leave it off, guys. Don't forget to tell me down in the comments what you think about this part, and what do you think is gonna happen in the next part. Well, I have nothing more to say than Severed was here.